people. Welcome to the DJ Force X podcast. I am joined by one of the members of a band called the Meffs. They are one of the most exciting punk bands. No, forget. They are one of the most exciting bands in the UK right now, with a new album on the way, which we'll talk about in a bit. And we're gonna basically find out about the Mess. Lily, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure
Abs-
to be here.
Absolutely my pleasure. Um, but yeah, how are you doing today? First and foremost.
I'm good. Yeah, feel fresh, feel fed, feel watered. Yeah,
That's good. That's good. That's
I'm good.
important. The watered bit is very
Very.
well. Fed is important as
hmm
well. Um,
Yeah.
but no, we're here to talk about your band, the Meffs. What I'd like to do, because you are a relatively new band to me, maybe not to some, but I'd like to get kind of an origin story, if you will. You can be as detailed or as vague as you like with it, but I kind of just
hmm
want to get a bit of background on the band itself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
So me and Lewis, there's only two of us. We grew up in Colchester, in Essex, and I used to go out in town a lot, drinking, and he worked in a pub that I used to drink in. And I was looking for a drummer to start a band that was going to tour. And I was like, we're going to be a touring band. We're going to play everywhere. And that was it. And I was just like, I saw a picture of him drumming on an electric kit. And I said, are you in? And he was like, what do you like? What music do you like? And I gave him some examples and he said, yeah, let's go. What do I have to do? And I was like, just turn up and play. And it really was one of those moments where the rest is history. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're now you're just about to release your second album. I say just in about 5 months,
hmm
but it's been announced already. It is called Business, and the lead single which you've released is called Business as well. But if we go back to that first album, What is a Life? Or What a Life? Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an S in my notes for some reason. That's why I go with
That's
that.
all right.
But What a Life, which came out 2024, I believe it was a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
hmm
had your EPs and demos out before that as well. But how was that last album received in general? Because I really love like there's a couple of tracks like Death Wish, Take Control, Clowns.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of tracks on there, and I'm not massive on my sort of like punk. I was more into my
Yeah.
hardcore, which kind of does
That's,
lead that either way into that. But
hmm
you touch both those sides. You kind of got this like sound that I really kind of like get into. It's very
yeah.
much like the hardcore side. But how was that album received for you guys?
It was really good. Like it was I guess a slightly different direction to the first, to the like the EPs that we'd done
Yeah.
before then. Because it was our first like full length album, like you say. And we did lean into a slightly heavier sound, and the sort of topics that we spoke about were not just political. And I say that because the first, like the two EPs, were very much about a broken Britain.
Yes. Yeah.
So we wanted What a Life to be a bit more societal and a bit of a mix, and just to sound a little bit heavier than we'd done before. Um, and I think on that basis, especially when we play the album live, it just goes down really well. It
Yeah.
gets people going. Um, and it just showed, maybe like you say, maybe it just sort of showed a slightly different side to us than just sort of a standard 4/4, three chord punk band that we
Mm.
were known for before What a Life. So I think in general it was received really well.
Nice, nice. I was only asking because, like you said, like coming off those EPs and those initial demos, like to me, it was like I've gone back and listened to them, and it is that very much kind of like bare knuckle punk, I guess I call it. Like it's that kind of
hmm
like a I guess traditional punk, like the
Yeah.
way punk was, if that
hmm
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you've hit this heavier sort of side, which is why it sort of it's come into my, I guess my sort of area of what I do here. Um, and it's kind of like I really love the sound you have, especially on the new single, like the production value
hmm
on it and everything, just like the way it sounds. Because there's only two of you, which again I was
Yeah.
like, there's only two. Like listen to it without looking at videos and stuff like this. Only two
Yeah.
without reading the press release. I always listen to the music first, so
Uh-huh. That's cool. That's cool.
because it's like I can get swayed by the words and like then I find out about it and then it might throw me off. Something might throw me off and like I won't may not listen to
Mhm.
it in a different way. But if I listen to it like blindly, it works so much better for me. And this was like Business was
Yeah.
like I love the content. Um,
Mhm.
and then like finding out there's only two of you, like to make that level of sound as well. I mean, I love the sort of headline on your website as well. It's like louder than your four-piece band. I think it was
Yeah,
like when you go
yeah,
into that was absolutely it's genius. I love it.
yeah.
But what
It's
like
true.
no, I can hear it. Was that like a conscious decision to kind of do that coming out of those like sort of like those early punk sort of like EPs or demos? Well, I call them EPs.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision to go heavier to make it kind of like um I know you were already kind of playing with sort of bigger acts at that point, and you'd already caught sort of you've like I think like Brendan, you've caught the attention of like Fat Mike, who's a legend in this field.
Mhm.
Frank Turner, who's one of our own as well. He's a legend, former
Yeah.
guest on this show as well. And
Yes.
and
Good man.
it's
Mm.
and like looking at the dates you've got coming up with some of the bands you're playing with and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, you've got it's there, and like with this heavier sound, does it like what sorry, I'll go back to the original question. What was the sort of like the sort of like the drive behind that? I know you work with was it Dan
Yeah.
Weller?
Dan Weller.
Weller, yeah, is Weller. I was gonna say
Mhm.
Walker. I shouldn't. I know it's got
Yeah.
him sick.
Dan Weller. Yeah.
Um, but like was that more of a production decision, or was it something you were really kind of like pushing towards?
It was a mixture of both, really. We listen to all sorts of music. You mentioned hardcore. I mean, it's probably my most listened to genre,
Mm,
if you like. Both old and new. I think
yeah.
equally, I listen to both. And so it's certainly been like a bit of a sway from that because it's just what I love listening to. So if
Mm,
I love listening to something, I sort of think, well, there's other people that must love listening to it as well. Um,
yeah.
and the same with like rock and roll and like classic rock, for example. Like Lewis has a massive background in classic rock. He used to love like hair metal and classic rock when he was a kid, like when he was a lot younger, and he still does now. Don't get me wrong, but certainly when he was younger, that was sort of a scene that he just found found something in. You
Yeah.
know, it was a scene that he felt seen in, and so I think if we look at where we sort of came from in terms of like music and inspirations and stuff, that's definitely something that we've sort of like become more like comfortable with, I guess, now with this next record, like being more comfortable to be just like completely authentically us.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we are. Like we love heavy music, we love non-heavy music, but what do we want to play? Well, we want to play slightly heavier music. So, why not? And that's
Why
sort of
not?
the approach we took. Why not? And we know, like you sort of the songs that you mentioned off What a Life, they're the songs that go down well live, and they're the
Okay.
heavier of the songs. So we were a bit like live is our thing. Like we
Yeah.
live for live. So let's like focus on tracks that are gonna just they're just gonna hit hard when we play
Yeah.
them live.
Nice. I love that. I love that. And it's just, I mean, it's like I say, it kind of came into my sort of stratosphere of things like through the bands that I was into back in the day, and like obviously the people that contact me on a regular basis for these sort of interviews and things, they kind of know who I like to speak to on that front
Yeah,
as well. And like definitely listen to it. I could hear a lot of stuff. I mean, back in the day I was into like Cro-Mags,
nice.
Vision Disorder, kind of like more of the American hardcore side of things,
Mhm. Yep.
just purely because that's what I was into as a teenager. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but coming out of that, and then like obviously bands like Rancid and stuff that do have that kind of like heavier side,
Mhm.
and obviously the British side of things. Obviously we had punk here, we invented it,
Yeah,
pretty much, or at
yeah.
least trailblazed it. Um, I was always
Yeah, we
unsure
did.
these days who invented what, but yeah,
Yeah.
but no, just sort of taking that to the next level, and you guys have been doing that, like, from what
Mhm.
I've seen, and some of the sort of shows you've played on, and like which people can go and find out about. But I want to talk about some of the ones you've got coming up, if you don't mind, because you do have quite
Yeah.
an extensive tour coming up. Um,
Mhm.
Obviously promoting the album in September, you've got a bunch of in-store dates, so people can go to the meffs.com. They can find all these
Mhm.
dates on there. But you've just announced an amazing support slot. I thought it was amazing anyway, with
Oh
Joan
yeah.
Jett and the Blackhearts,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
I mean, how like as I mean, just as a musician, like landing that support slot,
Mhm.
how does that feel? Because like to me, that would be like, I still wouldn't be, I wouldn't believe it, to be honest.
It's oh yeah. It's like the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
It's for me, it's one of those moments like I there's probably not many people that I could name like growing up where I was like, oh, I could be like that. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? There wasn't loads of people that I could look at in certain scenes that where people looked like me or had a bit of difference or was a woman or was queer, whatever it might
yeah,
be. Joan Jett is one of the only people I can count, on one hand, who was someone that I could look at and go, she looks sick, she
yeah,
sounds sick, I'm going to be like that one day when I'm older. And so for me, getting this tour is like, is insane. I think it's like, we always say that it's not about like this thing that we do called the Meffs isn't a case of like trying to reach a goal.
yeah.
It's like, it is a journey. It's like, as strange as that might sound, it is a journey. And like everything that we do along the way is amazing and builds up who we are as the Meffs. And this is one of those things, but this is one of those, this almost is like a goal thing as well.
Yeah.
It's something that I never thought we would do when we started out. It never was, it would have even been on my radar that it was possible,
It's
you
crazy.
know?
It is crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like to land something
Yeah.
with such a bandwidth like that is I mean legendary is I don't think that's a strong enough word. I use it quite a lot with a lot of bands that people talk about, and Joan Jett is one of the I have this new like level called Immortals, um,
Yeah.
which only I think at the moment AC/DC are in.
Okay.
Just purely because it's the only time I've ever used it, but I've started to use it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to use it a bit more, trying to champion it on this show. No, but
Yes.
yeah, she's up there as one of the immortals when it comes to like the rock genre. Like when it
Yeah.
comes to that, like trailblazing, it like
Mhm.
musically, there's no like you can say legendary, yes, but I think immortal is something because they are going to live forever within like within
Yeah.
the music world, no matter what happens. There's only a few artists that can kind of claim that right now. Um, well, in rock and metal anyway. I'm sure people will
Mhm.
come back to me in the comment section with various other things, as they tend to do. But no, that's amazing. My kid was really excited as well because they're going to see My Chemical Romance in the summer.
Ah,
Um,
with Joan supporting.
with Joan supporting. They were really like
Yes.
because they were waiting for the sports to be like announced. They're like, oh, and
Yeah.
then like it was that kind of thing of like because they're young. She's like 18, so it was like she kind of was aware of Joan Jett. Like my wife is a fan of her as well, and they were
Yeah.
kind of aware of it because we had them playing the car and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
like it was like, who was that? And we had to play a couple of things. Oh my god, really? I really want. Didn't know they were still going, kind
That's,
of thing.
that is
But yeah,
cool.
but no, it's really nice when like intergenerational like love for an artist like that. Um,
Yeah.
and you get to spend time with them. You get to spend like a good sort of at least a week with them, right? I think it is, or is
Yeah.
it 4 or 5 days?
Yeah.
Is it that
It
new
is.
London
Yeah.
venue as well at the
Hmm.
British Airways Arc, which I think
Yeah.
they've only just started releasing shows for that, haven't they?
Yeah. I don't think it's even open till June, maybe
Yeah.
May or June.
Yeah, I'm not even
So
sure
that'll be fun.
where that is in London. I have to look that up.
What
But
I don't particularly, I just know the cap, I think, is similar to the others,
yeah,
which I think is actually quite good for London because I can't think of that many places that they've got that sort of like mid cap.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like you've
yeah,
got Brixton Academy that's obviously like about what 5,000 or something.
yeah,
You've got obviously the really big ones, and then you've got sort of like the 1,000s. You haven't got that many that's between that sort of
yeah.
1 and 5,000. So I think
That's
it's yeah. I mean, I don't know much about it, but I think in terms of capacity, it's probably quite good for London.
nice, nice. I'll have to look it up because I saw it announced for another tour as well that was coming out. Another,
Hmm.
I think it was Sammy Hagar and friends.
Yes.
He's doing like multiple nights there.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that venue because obviously, like I say, obviously I lived near London. I should know, but I
Mhm.
didn't know when it was opening or anything like that, or what even the capacity is because I didn't know what
Mm.
kind of venue it was going to be because, like you say, London doesn't have that kind of, you've got your Apollo, you've got your Brixton, then you've got your O2 like Academy,
Yeah.
like the O2 Arena, sorry. Um,
Mhm.
a couple of smaller venues as well, obviously the O2 Academy and stuff like that in Islington and all
Yeah.
that. And but yeah, they've kind of like yeah, any of those mid-level venues have gone, and I've harped on along about like the Astoria in London and everything on this show before. I used to go to as a kid,
Yeah.
no longer there, and that was a good 2,500 capacity
Yeah,
venue.
that's like the legendary,
It
legendary place, wasn't it?
it was, and I've been to London since, and I walk around like Tottenham Court Road, and it's just depressing. Um,
Yeah,
even
nah,
though some of
sad.
it's still there, but not,
Yeah.
it was like used to go there to buy music and buy music equipment
Hmm.
and stuff, and there's a radio station there and all that kind of stuff that like rock station. And anyway, not there anymore.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but no, you're not Scott, but you are playing a bunch of other shows across the summer. You're playing a bunch of festivals. You're playing with the Levelers, which looks amazing,
Yeah,
and Ned's Atomic
yeah,
Dustbin as well on those shows, which again is that's a
yeah,
name for the I'm sure I've got records of theirs somewhere around here.
yeah.
Excuse me. And that's in a kind of a mid-sized arena tour as well, isn't it? I think. Oh,
They are,
You are playing the Apollo. Sorry, you are playing the Apollo
yeah,
as well and everything and
they
Rock
are
City.
pretty, yeah, that they are really nice size venues. They are, yeah, I know we're doing Rock City, we're doing, yeah, Hammersmith, or yeah,
Yeah,
what is it called now?
it's the Hammersmith
Yeah,
Apollo. Oh,
it is the
event. Oh,
Hammersmith one
sorry.
now.
Yeah, Eventim. Sorry.
Eventum,
Yeah,
that's the one,
sorry.
Eventum Apply.
We show our
Um,
age when we call it its original name.
oh, don't blank that bit out. That's
Sorry.
I'm 21, 21 stage age over here.
Okay, sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
nah, I joke. But yeah, no, they're great venues, and I think we're doing the Empress Ballroom as well in Blackpool, which we've only ever
Yeah.
played for Rebellion. So that's yeah, really really nice size venues, and yeah, we love the Levelers. We played for them at their festival, Beautiful Days, last year, and it was the crowd was just they're a different breed.
Yeah.
They're just so up for whatever music is going to be put in front of them. They're just there for it. You
Nice.
know what I mean? As long as it's music they can get down to, they were just, yeah, they were so hyped for it. So we are very excited to get in front of them again.
That is beautiful. I love that because yeah, Levelers, yeah, Entertonic Dustbin, those bands, I've seen them live back in the past, and yeah, always a good time. Like always a good
Yeah,
time. And
always
yeah,
fun.
the crowd are good as well. That's what helps. Obviously, the band are great, but that energy,
Yeah.
that kind of like positive atmosphere, or
Mhm.
joyful atmosphere, like really does
Yeah,
translate across the fans as well. And yeah,
yeah,
and you got a
really
couple of
good.
other shows as well, like one that may well, actually probably won't be. This will probably be out after the show, but you are playing with the Exploited and Ferocious Dog and whatnot at the Edinburgh Corn Exchange,
Yeah,
which is next week. Um,
yeah,
um,
yeah. That's
but
exciting as well.
yeah, that I mean that'd be great, obviously. But this will be out after that, but it doesn't matter. Like
Okay.
you're playing with the Exploited again, I think at Northwest Calling as well.
Yes, a
But
few of those.
nice. But people can go to the meffs.com or direct people to your site. And they can
Yeah,
find out all that. You can join your mailing list as well, which is important. I'm pushing people to join mailing lists because that is the
really
only
important.
true way of messing up the algorithms by getting direct to your fans.
Really is. It genuinely is. Like sign up to the mailing list and yeah, we send you all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
Discounts, first news, all of that stuff. It really is the way forward.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's weird how it's gone all the way background. That's how it started. You get the
Yeah,
mailing list, whether it's physical, postal, or email. It's gone
yeah,
through all these social medias, and because they've screwed up the algorithm, getting access to the people that want to hear you, I
hmm,
have to go back to it. And it's something that I've maintained for this show. And when I was in bands and stuff, I've kept all those sort of things going whereas I can, like keeping my list where people want to hear from it and stuff. But it is
yeah,
important. It's a good lesson for bands. It's a good lesson for anyone that needs that kind of like thing of getting, access or getting the news to hear about people they want to
yeah.
hear about because you don't always see it. Like even if you pay for ads
No,
and all that kind of stuff, people can pay not to see ads now. So
yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
it's kind of worthless.
yeah,
But yeah, mailing list on there. You can buy your records, your merch, all that kind of stuff. But if people do want to follow on your socials, you do have the links there as well. They're all there
yeah.
across the board. You've got them all. Um, but importantly, the live dates are there. So if people want to find you guys, they can. On there, you can hear your new
Mhm.
single as well, Business, which is on the website. It's also
Yes,
on YouTube. It's on all the places you want to hear it. You can request it for your local rock station, if that's a thing still.
yes, you can. Yeah, you can.
But I've got a couple of questions left for you, if I may, Lily, before I let you
Cool.
go for the evening. Um, so I want to find out, it's kind of like my run out questions, if you will, on this show. But what I want to find out from you is your three most pivotal records. Now, I'm not talking about your best of all time, the top three records.
Hmm.
I don't want that. What I want is records you heard or tracks you heard when you were younger that kind of made you want to do what you're doing today, or change your
Mhm.
perspective you know, those moments where you see something and you're like, oh my god, what's that, and it just totally changes you.
Yeah.
If you can
Oh yeah.
possibly pinpoint three, I know it's a difficult one, but if you can, that'll be awesome.
No, I reckon. And I like how you worded it as well, because normally people say, "What's your favourite albums?" and that's hard.
Yeah.
But in terms of like influential or like that had an impact, I would say something like Coral Fang by the Distillers when I was younger. That was the first Distillers album that I heard. I heard that before Sing Sing Deaf House, which I like better.
Yeah.
But I think Coral Fang was like the one of the albums I listened to and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like four chords,
Yeah.
very minimal guitar solos. I could maybe do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
you know, that's definitely one of the records. And back then, like I was a big Distillers fan, big Brody fan.
Yeah.
I just thought as a whole package, they had something that I wasn't seeing that much of when I was a teenager. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep. Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, I'd say probably that album by the Distillers. Um, one that I'd like to bring up is the Cranberries,
Okay.
um,
Yep.
"Zombie," the
Yep.
song by the Cranberries, and the reason is because when I was younger, I've got a sister who's 9 years older than me, and she used to work with a band, like a really local, like school, like 16-year-old band or something, and they were doing some sort of like local gig or local talent thing. I can't remember. I
Yeah.
was young at the time, but they did a cover of Zombie,
Oh,
and
nice.
I remember that. I mean, it sticks in my head hearing that cover, and I don't think anyone should do a cover of Zombie ever because it's such a beautiful song. However, I remember hearing that and thinking, "This is incredible." Before I'd even heard the song.
Okay.
So Zombie by the Cranberries,
Nice.
because yeah, it gives me goosebumps when I listen to it to this day. Um, and another record. Oh, that's a hard. It's hard. It's
It is.
hard.
It can be. Some people can rattle these off. Others
Yeah.
don't. They kind of,
Struggle.
they struggle a little bit, which is fine. It's kind of what I want out of it, because it's like
Yeah.
it's not the top three of all time, and usually they'll end up being relatively the same over time. Whereas this
Yeah.
question, I
No,
found
of
that
course.
it's a bit more of a divider. It kind of has this, it's not like you said with the Distillers one. It's not your favorite album of
Yeah.
theirs, but it was the one you heard first, and it was the one that
Absolutely.
had that moment with you. Um,
Yeah. And it's interestingly with that one, like it's not necessarily a record that I put on regularly
yeah,
now. It's not a
yeah,
record where I go back to and I'm like, oh, I have to listen to it. But I remember back then I couldn't not listen to it all
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
It was just so like it was just a record that was like in my psyche. And to this day, probably lyrically I could remember everything. So it's like it's
That's
super
amazing.
important. But I think I mean, like if we're talking I always try and think of like things back in the day, maybe when I was younger, but I think like more recently,
Yeah.
I'm quite a new Turnstile fan, and I know that's
Okay.
quite a divisive. It's quite Turnstile are quite divisive now because they've got obviously their old fan base who don't like the new music,
Yeah.
and they've got a lot of new people discovering them from their latest album.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's quite a beautiful thing.
It is.
I think full credit to them because although I discovered them on the most recent album, I went to see them on that tour,
Yeah.
and it was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Nice.
It goes back to what we were saying about the importance of an audience. Like the unity in a Turnstile audience is like no other. It's you've got like 10,000 friends around you, and you don't know any of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you don't get as a routine thing at a gig. Um, most people sort of go to a gig because you want to watch the band. You don't pay attention really to who's around you. Whereas at this Turnstile gig, I remember watching and thinking like everyone is here for the same reason. People are loving this. There's
Nice.
like 14-year-olds, there's 60-year-olds,
Yeah.
and they are all doing the same thing to the same music. Um, so I'm going to say I'm going to say Glow On by Turnstile. So not the most recent album, but the one before.
Yeah.
Um, I heard that and I thought this band is like doing something new, but they're clearly like really influenced by old school
Yes.
hardcore,
Yep.
but
Yep.
they're doing it in like a very vulnerable, melodic way, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think they're getting, they get a bit of hate for that because people say like it's not real hardcore or whatever. I don't think they're bothered. They're making music they want to make,
This
and
is it. Yeah.
I'm
This
here
is
for
it.
it.
Exactly. And that's when I got on the Turnstile train as well, was with Glow On.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to any of their shows unfortunately, but I've seen and I've heard about the shows that they have, and it is that kind of unity of whoever's there, they're just having a good time. Doesn't matter the age gap,
Hmm.
doesn't matter whether you're an old school fan, new school fan, the message is still the
Yeah.
same. You go out there, you have fun. So like they've kept the same kind of like atmosphere despite like, changing their music, or
Hmm.
evolving as an artist, if you want to put it that way. Who
Yeah.
knows? But it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter where you get on the train with a lot of these things. I always say it's kind of like,
Hmm.
what's most important is you're on the train now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I'm never to sort of like, I've been trying very hard not to, as my kids say, don't yuck people's yums. um
I like that.
yeah,
That's clever.
it stuck with me, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. And like with Turnstile, I didn't know what they were like. I heard Glow On, I was like, oh, I hear some of those influences, those sort of hardcore sort of sounds, but
Yeah.
they've done something different with it. They've done something,
Yeah.
they've evolved it. And then I look
Yeah.
back on their stuff. I hear the earlier stuff, which is great, and I hear that like the new stuff
Yeah.
they're releasing now. Obviously, they are getting the attention, which is also great. Which will happen if you have
Yeah.
crowds of people going to your show. That's what's driving it. Like record
Yeah.
sales generally don't mean much anymore.
Yeah.
As sad as that is, it's about the people turning up at your shows and having that time, and people going telling other. It's that word of mouth. It's that mailing list.
Mhm.
It's the
Yeah.
physical mailing list, which people forget
Yeah.
about these days, or they've forgotten about, or it got sidetracked at some point. But it takes certain bands to get it back on track, and they're one of them. I
Yeah.
feel. But the
Definitely.
Cranberries, going back to them, Zombie, even though you heard it as a cover as well, which
Yeah.
is like great. But that track is amazing. I've heard it covered many times by many bands.
Yeah.
My step daughter as well, sorry, stepson, covered it as well at one of their school talent shows. So
No
it seems to be
way.
a thing. Um, and
Wow.
and that was a few years ago, and that was a real like haunting version because they did it acoustically on the stage on their own as well. So there was no
Yeah.
like band with them. So I was really
Yeah.
proud of them when they did it. It took a lot of guts, but like that track, every time I hear it on like the radio or something like that, like occasionally it pops up on like Radio X or something, and it's just like, yeah, it's just really haunting. It's just like, and
It
it's
is
still
haunted.
it's still relevant. Like it's like,
Hmm.
even though it was about something else, like, but it's
Yeah.
going on in a different country now, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, and obviously, she's no longer with us as well, which is
Hmm.
sad. And I know she was supposed to record something, record another version of that with, I think, Breaking Benjamin before she died.
Oh wow.
And then they ended up recording it, and then the money went to her foundation or charity or something like that.
Okay.
That's how that worked. I
That's
think back
cool.
it's back a little while ago, but that was a good cover, and I think Breed 77 did a cover as well. If we want to keep it on the sort of more local bands,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, I mean it's fantastic haunting track, and Distillers as well. I remember them from back when I was younger, and those like, reading through Kerrang, hearing them on cover discs and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
and I think is Brody still making music? 'Cause I swear I saw something recently that I don't know, but no, they were a
No.
fantastic band. I saw them alive a couple of times, supporting.
Yeah.
I want to say like Queens of the Stone Age or something. I think it was
It
something.
probably would have been back then,
Yeah,
way back when they were dating.
yeah. I used to go to like London all the time and just go to shows.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I didn't have responsibilities,
Yeah.
I had money for a job and money for ticket when tickets were reasonable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yes,
The
so
tickets are 2 quid.
they were almost, yeah. I still got ticket stubs
Yeah.
for half these things, and it's crazy, crazy
Yeah.
money, even with
Yeah. I know
inflation.
so.
It's crazy money. But
It
no,
is.
fantastic choices there. I love that. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen to the Distillers because I haven't heard them for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that's the one band on there I haven't heard for a while. So I'm definitely gonna go listen back to them. That's gonna be
I think
fantastic.
I am as well now.
Oh, nice. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I've
Yeah.
got one last question for you. I'll let you go.
Sure.
Um, what are your hobbies away from the Meffs? So when you're not music,
Ooh.
when you're not doing that, what do you kind of do? What's your getaway, or what's your downtime?
My downtime, I love the gym. I love working out. I'm on a yeah. At the moment, I'm trying to. I'm working on my running time, so I'm trying to get that down
Okay.
back to what it was when I was younger and could run better.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, I do love sort of exercising in that sense. I really love UFC as well.
Okay.
So I'm quite a big UFC fan.
Yep.
So I've got my fight pass, and I enjoy watching fights. And yeah, I suppose they're two of the things that I really like
Nice.
um, doing. Yeah,
Nice. I like that. It's
yeah,
cool. It's first I've heard like MMA for a while on these things.
yeah,
Had a few sort of jujitsu people on here and stuff like that. They're into that outside of their thing, but actually like watching UFC and and general MMA. And I guess if you've got the fight pass, you get probably a lot of other stuff on there as well. So
yeah, yeah. It's like
that's
there's so
awesome.
and yeah, and I used to love like um, I used to train in martial arts, and I used to compete very low level, but obviously being in a band, playing guitar and singing,
Yeah.
I found that sparring was not conducive to keeping your hands in shape for
Yes.
playing guitar. Um, I learned that quite quickly, and then I think as well you learn like as you get older, you you can't necessarily do some of the things and get up the next day and feel okay
Yep. Yep.
as you could when you were 18. So
Yep.
yeah, I turned to watching UFC actually when I stopped uh, doing much myself.
Okay.
Weirdly,
Okay.
it's almost like an alternative release.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. It's that kind of like, yeah, it's that alternative. So you still get the kind of like the sort of little bit of a rush from it that you would have gotten.
Yeah.
Maybe you couldn't, obviously not the physicality of it, but
Mhm.
you know what they're kind of going through as well when they
Yeah.
get hit. You can kind of feel that hit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've
It's definitely a rush.
yeah, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Lily, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything you've got coming up. Everyone go to the meffs.com. You can
Thank you.
pre-save the album now. Even though it is 5 months away, you can pre-save
Yeah.
it now. It's out on September 11th. It is called Business. There's a single right out now called Business as well, so you can hear the lead single from it. But go back, listen to their other stuff as well. What a Life album is out there, and Broken Britain EPs as well, and probably a few other singles and demos and stuff like that floating around the web they can find on there. But Lily, thank you very much, and yeah, have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, thank you.